Hello everyone and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I'm your host Stan Rattan, aka Stan the Wine Man, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show where I try to help you spend your wine dollars wisely. And the subject of this show is going to be Thanksgiving. It's coming up. It's funny, about, 3 weeks ago I asked a question on Twitter, maybe it might have been 4 weeks ago, probably 3. I said, what is your favorite wine with Thanksgiving? I just wanted to start collecting some ideas. And I just got a bunch of crap about being too early, and I'm thinking, too early? It's only a month away. That just happens. That's not very far. And here we are. It's a couple weeks away, so we're right on it. Now, Thanksgiving is one of those holidays where everybody, well, almost everybody, thinks wine. Even people that didn't think wine before think wine on Thanksgiving because, well, they're having company over. They know that people like to have wine with their dinner. It's one of the biggest wine days that I have in the store. And aside from the summer, of course, because we live in a tourist destination stop, and like thousands and thousands of people come through the store every day and they want wine. So, of course, I can't compete with that. But it's just in an average, everyday business day. Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's are 3 big holidays for wine. And I know it's true with you. If you would like to make a comment, tell me how many of you really think about wine on Thanksgiving compared to other days of the week. I bet it's huge. And what wine do you think goes best with the Thanksgiving meal? And actually, I'll tell you one thing right now, just off the bat. We're going to do 3 wines here, a Rosé, a Pinot, and a Zinfandel. And I like those wines with Thanksgiving, but I can't figure out the Pinot Noir thing. I understand Beaujolais Nouveau because it's kind of a light and fruity wine. I don't always understand the Pinot thing because Pinot can be acidic sometimes, and I don't think acid goes well with food. So that's just my thing. But one of the first responses I finally got on Twitter was Pinot Noir all the way, baby. So, I'm not going to fight what's popular. I'm just saying that's not where I go. But what I do like to do, one of my favorite wines with Thanksgiving is Rosé. And I know a lot of people only drink Rosé when it's warm and sunny outside. And, it is very nice to have during those periods of time. I admit that. But Rosé is very versatile, very much a yearly wine, or at least it should be. This is, I'm going to butcher this, I'm sorry guys. This is Prière de Montezargues Tavel Rosé 2013. I know I butchered that. This rolls in at $18. And I'll tell you another thing, and maybe you can confirm this or tell me I'm full of crap. People spend more dollars on a bottle of wine during the holidays. They want a special wine. They might get 1 or 2 and then the rest of them are lower end. We always know everybody opens up the good stuff first and then goes downhill from there. But a lot of people don't mind spending $20, $40, $50, $60 on a bottle of wine for the holidays just because, it's a special occasion. Are you one of those people? Do you like to spend a little bit more on that bottle of wine for the holidays? This rosé rolls in at $18, and that's not inexpensive for a rosé. It's pushing the upper scale. You could go some of the Provence rosés that roll in in the $30 range, but we're not going to go there. Let's see what we get on the nose. Now, Tavel, interesting fact about Tavel is all they do is rosé. That's it. Pretty amazing, isn't it? That an entire region in the southern, southwest Rhone Valley, all they do is rosé. And of course, they use the typical Rhone Valley grapes. They could use Mourvedre, they can use Syrah, they could use Grenache, they can use any of those grapes, but all they do is rosé. Kind of curious, isn't it? Very much get a lot of watermelon, rhubarb, strawberry, cherries. What I like about Tavel Rosé too is they tend to be a little heavier, not in a viscous way, but just in a flavor profile, because that's all they do. So they don't use the Saunier method, which is where they bleed off juice and they use the rest of the juice for the varietal. Let's say for instance, winemaker is making a Mourvedre, but he wants to make a little rosé too, so he bleeds off some of the juice after it's been on the skins for not very long. He bleeds that off and makes rosé. Then he has a more concentrated juice for his Mourvedre. So actually he gets 2 bangs for the buck. He gets a rosé and a regular Mourvedre. But in Tavel, you know, everything's done as a rosé. So an entirely different concept. So a lot of times you get more concentrated fruit. Let's see what we get on the palate. Actually, I'm getting a nice little herbal component on the nose too. Let's see what we get on the palate. Nice concentration of fruit, just what I expected. I get cherries, watermelon, I get a little, like the rind of the watermelon. I definitely get some strawberry action going on. And it's a little brighter on the palate. It's not acidic, but it has a brightness to it. I mean, there is acid in here, but it's not too much. It won't devour the savory elements of the Thanksgiving meal. Cherries on the backside, big time. I like this rosé. I liked it when I tasted it back in the spring of this year. I'm revisiting it now because I know that rosé is a great and a classic matchup with Thanksgiving. Certainly can add an element to it. You don't want to get one that's too acid driven, but this one falls in that nice comfort zone, and good fruit really match up nicely with, I'd love to have this with the yams. Of course, I'm a big sweet potato yam guy. Love that. Great with stuffing. A lot of those things that go with Thanksgiving, this would match up nicely with. And of course, you know, depending on how they do the turkey, you know, it's hard to make a turkey moist, but you know, some people are doing it now because of all the different methods they have. This would be a nice matchup. You know, I'm gonna go B+ on that rosé. I really like it. Good wine. Move on to the next one. Now I'm going to taste a Pinot Noir because everybody likes Pinot with turkey. It seems to be, has fallen into the category of the wine to have. Personally, if I were going to do Pinot Noir, I would probably go Cali because they tend to have a little bit more baby fat, a little bit more juice on them. But I'm going to go with it. I'm going to try this 2012 Willamette Valley Vineyards Founders Reserve Pinot Noir. It rolls in at $48. Willamette Valley Vineyards, I like their Pinot. They do a nice job. I have never tried this one, so I'm very curious to see how it is. Ooh, a little dusty on the nose. I get a little root beer. Cherries all day. Little cinnamon edge to it, which is very interesting and nice. And I can pretty much guarantee that most of you are not going to smell your wine that much for Thanksgiving. You got people, whether it's 5 or 10 or 15 or whatever, huge crowd or small crowd, you know, you're all talking, you're eating, you're enjoying the meal. You're probably not going to be as geeky as me and try and smell. This even has a little bit of black tea going on. Right, let's see what we get on the palate. Wow, that is one intense Pinot Noir. That is beauty. I get just intense red and black cherries. A little bit of cranberry, just a touch on the back end. Good acidity. Black tea on the finish. The root beer element comes through there. Sarsaparilla, as they like to say. Who dare I say root beer, when really that's what sarsaparilla is. Yeah, this is very, very intense. I would not use this with Thanksgiving dinner. I would just have this, period. It's got some good grip action. It's a little young right now, but that black tea really comes through on the finish. Starts in the mid palate, comes through on the finish. I am a sucker. I'm a sucker for black tea on a Pinot Noir. I love it. You get it from time to time on Burgundy Pinot Noirs, and if you ever want to get close to Burgundy with this varietal, go Oregon. They do an awesome job with Pinot. And this one needs to lay down. I'm saying this one could use another 5 years in the bottle before you really dive into it. A little bit of beauty bark coming through, just a touch. You know, the balance of acid, fruit in this wine is incredible. It's got good flow across the palate. Very complex. Great bottle of wine. I'm going to go A+ on this wine. I think that, you know, it's close to 50 bucks, I know, but you buy a couple of these, tuck them away for 5 to 8 years, maybe 10, you're going to have a beauty on your hands. And I would say in 5 to 8 years, this will be beautiful with turkey dinner. That acid will integrate with the fruit even more. I mean, you could try it now. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Like I said, it's very subjective. You can drink whatever you want on Turkey Day. I don't care. You know, it's what is you like. I mean, if you don't enjoy a Pinot Noir, if you don't enjoy a Rosé, you know, then don't do it. But if you feel like experimenting a little bit, if you're feeling, you know, you're feeling daring, you want to really do something different, I would suggest a Rosé. Pinot, well, this is a great Pinot Noir. This is a tuck away for a few years Pinot, and right now it is, I think it's rocking right now. It just might be a little bit too acidic for the meal. I'm going to have a hard time dumping this one out. Just that nice cherry, almost a little raspberry on the finish with that kind of beauty bark and black tea. That's a beauty. On to the next one. Okay, this is Transin Red Blend 2012 Lodi. I can't read the fine print, sorry guys. It says something now. This is $15 and it is produced and bottled by Transino. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I can't even read that. It's a label. It's killing me. I should have. Bear with me, guys. It looks, you know what? I'm just going to go with Transin 2012. That's hurting my eyes. This rolls in at $15. And I have never tried this wine before. And it is a blend of, wow. Okay. I'm going to have to break out the magnifying glass. I cannot read that label. (75% Zinfandel), 10% Petite Syrah, and it has a little Syrah cabinet. Good enough for you guys? So it's a Zinfandel with a little bit of extra petite Syrah, Syrah, and Cab. This will not be, that part will not be my favorite of all the episodes I've done. I should have tried to read it before. I didn't realize it was so hard to read. I must have been in brighter light when I first read it. But basically this is Zinfandel, and I'll tell you what, I love Zin with Thanksgiving. It just has to be big, juicy, fat Zin, because you know you get that fruit forward Zin. In one of my last episodes I ran across a petite Syrah that had the big fruit forward thing going on, and you know that's just what it's about. You know, you get the fruit, you got the savory, it works really good. Boom, boom. You got to be careful not to get a Zin with too many tannins to it, because if you get one of those, it's not going to work. In fact, a couple of years ago, we were having Thanksgiving here at the house, and had a big crowd, and I busted out a Zinfandel. I won't say which one it was, but it was a little too tannic, and it didn't work with the meal. So you got to keep all of that stuff into consideration. Hopefully you have a good wine guy that you can go to, and he can direct you in the right way. Just be careful that he doesn't he gives you a few options, okay? Watch out for the wine guy that goes immediately to the Gamay Beaujolais, or the Beaujolais Nouveau, the Gamay, or to Pinot Noir, and doesn't give you any other options. Well, that's bullcrap. There's a lot of options with Thanksgiving. So make sure you have a guy or girl, whatever, your wine steward, your trusted wine friend, whoever it is, that has more than just a couple of options. And that'll tell you that they've done their research. So what do we get on the nose? Well, right away I get a little brown sugar element. Currants. Ooh, get a little like a menthol, almost like a eucalyptus thing going on. Very intriguing, I like that. It's got eucalyptus meets currants meets little, not brown sugar, that's the wrong one. Almost like a Worcestershire sauce thing going on in there, which is quite interesting. All right, let's see what we get on the palate. Pretty bold on the palate. What I love about Zin, for you Zin haters, that's fine. But for you, if you like Zin, if you really like what it's all about, you like that big, bold. I know there's guys out there, there's a lot of guys out there looking for those, they call them Zinfandels with balance. You know, they have like 13% alcohol, and you know, they have a good structure, and they really like that, and they think that's really cool. Well, good for you. I'm glad you're looking for that, because I look for that in different kinds of wines. When I drink a Zinfandel, I want big, bold, nasty, boom, hit you in the face with fruit, bang! I don't care about the alcohol. I don't care if it's 15.5. You know, as long as it's balanced and good wine, I don't care. That's why I drink Zinfandel, period. Now, yeah, okay, it's great to get those cool little cult Zins where they really work on making it restrained and balanced and all that. Not balanced, but restrained and kind of less alcohol and all that cool stuff that they're looking for. You know, good. You know, I understand. But that's not why I drink Zin. I don't go to C's Chocolate looking for diet chocolates. I'm sorry. That's not why I go to C's Candy. I go there to get chocolate, because that's what I'm in the mood for. That's what I want. I go to Zinfandel because I want a big, bold, juicy wine with a little white pepper going on. That's why I drink it. This shows a lot of that, although I have to say, it's not as juicy as some, but it doesn't have the tannic hit, so I think this would work with Thanksgiving. I really do. Let me give it another shot here. I don't think I even described it. I got on my tangent. So you get currants, black raspberries, cherries. There's a little grip on the back end. I got it when I swallowed it. There's also a little pepper. I just get a little strain of that eucalyptus coming through, which I really like. This is borderline might be that little tannic grip on the backside might interfere a little bit, but there's enough juice on this baby that I think it's worth the effort. Okay, I'm not going to bore you guys with trying to find the alcohol on this. It's right there, and I do not. This actually doesn't, it's not loaded with alcohol, from what I can tell. $14.1. 14.5. 14.5 alcohol. Right in there, what you would expect from a Zinfandel. This has good balance. I like it. It's got a little white pepper hit on the finish, which is what you're looking for with the Zinfandel. So, how many of you are out there searching and wasting your time looking for a Zinfandel with low alcohol? Make a comment. Then you can go over. Then you can move over to New York with Eric Asimov. That's what he likes. I mean, he did a whole article on that. I get it. But do you drink Zinfandel for what it is? Big, juicy, jammy, bold wine. Make a comment, let me know. You too, Matthews, McKinnon, and Denhan. I hope you don't mind if I use your last name. Make a comment. You are the guys that need to get things rolling for me. You guys that are watching these all the time. Make a comment. Just say, yes, I want a big bad Zin with turkey. Or no, I don't. And yes, I am looking for those restrained Zins. Because I want to know why you do that. Thanks for watching. Cheers. And here's to keeping me stopped.